Maybe make it a YouTube thing. You can't tell me that this Wednesday before the Players, when all these guys are playing their little tournament, the Creator Classic, that we're all going to be watching on YouTube. So maybe Scotty doesn't play and do it. Maybe Tiger doesn't do it. Hell, I would love to see you and Trent out there. I would love to see Riggs out there going against Grant Horvat. Like, I think that type of stuff to the average YouTube golfer is interesting.
What's up, Drop Pod listeners? You can check out new episodes of the Drop Podcast every Tuesday and Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find all of our content on YouTube at the Drop Golf Podcast and on our socials. That's Instagram and Twitter at the Drop_pod. No matter how you consume us, like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Follow and listen along.
Today's episode is brought to you by All County Exteriors, your go-to for anything exterior home remodeling. Discover the excellence of All County Exteriors, a third-generation leader in premier exterior home remodeling, proudly celebrating over 40 years of success. While most remodeling companies last just 5 years, All County Exteriors has withstood the test of time, consistently delivering top-quality roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Their expertise extends from small repairs to large additions, serving homeowners and builders alike. More than just a construction company, All County Exteriors is deeply committed to community service, proudly supporting organizations such as the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the American Cancer Society, Roofs for Troops, and Parents of Autistic Children. If you have planned to do any exterior remodeling, call now for an instant 20% off savings on your next project. This is a limited time offer. Call now for a free, no obligation consultation. Just call 732 370 2780 or email them at info@allcountyonline.com. That's 732 370 2780 for All County Exteriors for all your remodeling needs. This is the Drop Podcast where we talk golfing in the Garden State. I'm Mike Poro, and this is Ryan Coulott.
What's up, Drop Pod people? Welcome back. It is episode 125. Mike and I here for you. Let's get a quick run through the schedule, and then Mike, it looks like a loaded sheet that we got today. A lot of fast facts on your end today.
Coming in, rapid fire.
Let's hit them. Yesterday was Monday, the 24th, right? Yep, Monday the 24th. Mike's still in hibernation. He is not around, still hibernating, but it looked like you were rumbling a little bit, Mike. Looked like you're making some movements and kind of starting to get ready there. It is almost March, so let's see if the Bears waking up anytime soon.
Don't count on it.
Today's Tuesday, the 25th. Mike, wave for the cameras. We're here on YouTube. If you're over on YouTube, subscribe, give it a like, give it a comment, whatever you got to do. We appreciate you watching over on YouTube. If you were listening to this and you are not subscribed on YouTube, make sure you jump over there. Subscribe if you're watching or listening to it, rate, review, all that good stuff that we always say in the beginning there. It really does us wonders. On Wednesday this week, the 25th, 26th, we have Mike and Ryan alternate shot at Bushwood Country Club. You're here. You heard that correctly, everybody. Mike and I, again, still in the simulator. We play the final 3 holes at Bushwood Country Club from the movie Caddyshack. If you watch closely to the screen, there are explosions that are happening. There's, the music wasn't loud enough, but it had the theme song going. It was a full Caddyshack themed situation there, which was really, really cool. So Mike and I take on the final 3 holes there at Bushwood Country Club, where gambling is illegal and I never slice. Thursday this week, we have, Mike, that's a reference from the movie that I know you didn't get. Thursday this week, we have Chris Gabriel, who is the lead assistant professional at Quaker Ridge Golf Club. We've talked about Quaker Ridge kind of in a few times when we had some different people on. Danny Rapp was a member there. This is a big time place that has a lot of cachet. And Chris is a stud golfer in his own right and has a lot of great stories and ambitions. And we talk about golfing in that area, which is, yes, little outside Jersey, but as we keep saying, like, it's the Met area, and we're in the Met section, we're in the Met area, so we're gonna be we're not taking that off limits. So we got Chris on for Thursday, and then Friday this week is Physical Fitness Friday, episode 12. Just keeping on rolling with that. As I said to start this, it is almost March as we're getting here, and posting season begins April 1st. So we got a couple more episodes really before we finalize this. We're kind of coming up to the end here. But we got some good things here. It's really cool to see and think back to the adjustments that have been made. Like, it was just strength in the beginning. Now we're kind of moving to power, and you're going to see that in this week's episode where we're doing a little bit more power, which is speed and strength, not just the strength stuff. So really cool keeping that rolling. Mike, you got your fast facts up here.
Yeah,
Why
it's more
don't you
like it's more like a laundry list
it,
today.
it really is. We got a bunch of stuff here. Why don't we start running through here and yeah. Ooh, there's a lot. Here we go. Hit me.
Well, all right. So first off, I gotta say congratulations to our giveaway winner. Again, I think there was a total of over 49 or 48 total people that were involved in this week's giveaway. And this is the crazy part about the whole thing is when I find out who the winner is through the magic wheel, is learning and finding out where they live. Well, this week's winner is Chris Garman. Chris Chris Garman resides in Seven Hills, Ohio.
Okay.
Chris is going to get a hoodie, a hat, and a t-shirt. We DM'd over the weekend, and my man from Ohio, listen, you just talked about broadening, outside of New Jersey.
Outside the
Well,
Met area. That's
we're
outside the
dip,
Met.
we're dipping into the Midwest, you know. So congrats to Chris. All his gear will be out this week, and he told me he'll DM me a few pictures when he starts to rock it. So, um, again, listen, I didn't think you and I would get outside of our households, let alone all the way out to the Midwest. But that's where we are.
I got some thoughts on where that came from, but we'll see when we talk to Chris, and that's really cool that we got to Ohio there. Very awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. Next, I know we hit this early last week, and it never really happened. But um, again, milestone after milestone, we keep kind of checking the box with that. And 9,000 followers, now well over the 9,000 follower mark on Instagram. And what was crazy really for me was it took over just a month. I want to say it was like 31 days exactly to add another 1,000 obsessed golfers like you and I to the handle. So, congrats, big fella, at 9. And listen, 5 digits is right in the rearview mirror.
It is. I was pulling it up now, Mike. I mean, this happened, a few days ago, and we're already pretty well past 9,000. Like, it's going very, very quickly up to the moon, as you always say, which is really, really cool to see. So thank you for everyone that is following, that's listening, that's been on this journey with us. We do it because we love seeing you guys out there, and you guys appreciate it. It is absolutely awesome. And obviously, with Chris just winning the giveaway, it's obviously making some waves. So really, really awesome stuff. Thank you those that are following, and welcome
Yep.
to our newbies.
Yeah, 100%. Next, listen, I know it's Tuesday, but we haven't had a chance to really dive deep into what our big time show is now that it's out. Chad talked about it all last week, but today, season 3 of Full Swing premieres. So I'm sure if you haven't watched it yet, I'm sure that'll be on the hit list to do. But I can't wait for you and I to kind of recap episode by episode, because I do want to toss this out there. And I know you don't know this because I haven't told you yet. But
Hold on,
if
Mike.
you
You could say that it came out. I would say that Full Swing drops today.
even better, there you go, there you go, bang, there you go. But during the interview, if you recall, Chad does talk about like Neil Shipley being one of the better stories that are out there. Neil is episode 1, so on
Mhm.
and so forth. So, do you know who I was DMing this weekend with?
Stop
Neil
it.
Shipley. And
Okay.
we're gonna find a time that Neil wants to come on and be on
Wow.
the podcast. He's obviously a little busy right now. He told me, but he said, "Listen, once things slow down in a few weeks, he'd love to hop on." So, a little tease right there to you, big fella.
That'd be awesome. Very cool. Look at you. You surprise me more and more every day.
Listen, just navigating the web, as we like to say.
Yeah, very.
Um,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, so that'll be, coming up in the near future, but I can't wait to watch that. Can't wait to talk about it. Can't wait to just recap it with you and kind of see what you liked and what you didn't. So
No
I
doubt.
will say this, if the audience hasn't listened, you got to go back and listen to Chad's interview before you watch it because he gives you a lot of insights and behind the scenes access to what they did, who they, really dove deep into with backstory. So it is a good, I guess, preview about what could be coming out today.
I also thought, Mike, it was super interesting to see like, hey, you have to do season one. What were your thoughts? Like, what are you consciously trying to do season one? And then you go to season two. What are you consciously trying to do different, the same? What's the mindset going into season two? And then now coming into season three, what's the mindset? What are we trying to do? Are we trying to, we've had two seasons now. Which did you like better? Are we trying to get back to season one? Are you trying to expand on season two? Like the production part of it, I guess I should have started with, and seeing that he's like, no, we're taking a little bit of both, right? We like that we kind of made it broad for season one so that everybody could kind of get hooked. Season two got a little too uh technical, I guess. I forget the word he used, but like they did a little too much golf junkie and not enough broad for everybody. So he said this year is a perfect balance of both of those. So really cool to have that, uh, that we're gonna have that.
Everything is happening at Galloping Hill Golf Course in 2025. Where else can you play on 27 holes of golf, practice at a lit and heated driving range, eat and drink all year round at a sports bar, host the wedding of your dreams, and now enjoy one of the only municipally owned golf simulators in the country? The Swing Suite at Galloping Hill uses state of the art unicore technology that allows you to play any of the greatest courses in the world or use the great technology to work on your game. The newly reopened concession stand serves all of your pub favorites and seasonal beers on tap while you hang out, watch the game, and compete with your friends. Head to learningcenterghgc.com to book your slots now. At the Hill Tavern in the main clubhouse, kids eat free all winter long. The banquet space never shuts down either, hosting over 150 golf outings and over 400 social events per year. Their catering team consistently wins awards each year from the Knot and Wedding Wire. Schedule a tour for your special event at the clubhouse at gallopinghill.com. And to top it all off, Galloping Hill has been chosen for the record 12th time to host the 91st New Jersey Men's Public Links Championship. It's all happening this year at Galloping Hill Golf Course. And then the next thing I got is Lab Golf was kind enough, them and I were going back and forth with some DMs about like, love to get you involved. I'm a putter head case. It's never me. It's always the putter. So maybe I need to invest in a new putter. So we had gone back and forth about different ways that, we can collaborate with them. And this was just another way for you and I to kind of get something to talk about it and give back. Well, they sent us two custom fit putters to you and I. And all they asked was put a little video together. And I can't thank them enough for all the people behind the scenes that I was going back and forth with through email to get us these things. But I thought it would be important for you and I to kind of talk about the process a little bit about their fitting.
Mike, I don't know where to start because we've always said on this that you and I are two nobodies, right? We're two jamokes or two, we're just two regular guys that are doing a podcast that like golf, like talking about golf. When they said, "Oh, we'll send you putters," it was It was so heavy. I was like, "Are you sure you wanna send me a putter?" Like, I don't, no, you don't have to do that. Then they were like, "No, we're gonna send you putters." It was really an incredible, uh, it was incredibly generous. It was incredibly like, hey, we don't want anything back. We don't want to like they're not this is not a they didn't sponsor ad time on the show. This isn't a nothing like that. We are just out in front, just talking about, hey, this is the process we went through. It really, really cool for them to do that. So um Mike, yours got there first. So why don't you talk about your like the process, from your end?
Yeah, so literally it was like they gave you kind of the easiest thing you could possibly do in terms of setting it up. Like, here's is the tutorial step 1 to step 5, I believe it was, in terms of what you needed to do. I literally had my daughter video me as I was doing it. I took a couple strokes here and there, and then it was like, all right, let's find the right, lie angle balance, which kind of makes sense in terms of what lab stands for. And we measured the whole putter out. We got the design and the alignment in terms of what you wanted the face to look like. You made sure you had the right, um, I want to say it was like a lot. What's a, they used a specific term in the emails about something about being forward facing. It
The
was like
press, the forward
the
press.
press,
Yep.
yes. Um, so it was you
The
were able
grip
to
that has a 2-degree angle. So it's already
yes,
pre-pressed for you.
yeah, which I thought was crazy,
Mhm.
because those are things that I guess I don't think about too often. Um, it fixes the I don't know, the whole thing was amazing. It's simple. It was simple. Now
It was so
does
simple, Mike. You said that you had your daughter videotape it. They asked you to go against a door frame, right? Doors
Mhm.
are supposed to be parallel, 90 degrees floor to door frame. They want you to stand in front of it and they want you to just take a couple putting strokes. It's all they wanted to do. That's how basic and easy the video was. And they say, okay, make sure your whole like step 1 was have a camera stand in front of the doorway. Step 2, here's right, take a couple strokes. Step 3, make sure that your whole body's in the video. Make sure that the whole you're wearing golf shoes so we kind of know the height of it. Like there was so minimal instructions, but they were so clear. And it was like 1 do this, 2 do this, 3 do this, 4 do this, 5 do this, send us and you're good. It was super super simple that anybody could have done this. Literally anybody.
Yeah, listen, and I'm dying to get this thing in action because goodness gracious, the way the Instagram numbers go up, I'm hopeful that my putting strokes go up because this may be the missing piece to the puzzle that maybe
Well, I hope your putting strokes go down.
well, yeah, I'm talking about the off game, like
It
to the
makes
moon.
yeah, to the
Yeah,
moon
I
with a
mean,
golf game.
listen, maybe that'll calm the inner thoughts that go on in this noggin of mine because man, oh man. So listen, I will say it's one of those things. If you are in the market for a putter, it's not this. I know it can get labeled as times like, oh, it's a big influencer putter. People that are on Instagram or on social media are the ones really pushing it. Well, last time I checked, Adam Scott is really not on Instagram or social media. And he is the one big name that has it
Gotta
and
laugh.
uses it. Right. So I mean, not for nothing. Grant Horvat was one the other day. So
Yeah.
there's another. I know he's an influencer, but the dude golfs.
Right. While I was waiting for you, that influencer, Steele, I forget his name, his first name, right? He's
Roger.
got Roger Steele, right? He's got the broomstick, right? And he's just rolling them with the broomstick. So yes, it might be big for influencers and it might be big for this like online golf community, but we don't just push stuff or hack stuff that is not worth our time, right? They were nice enough to send us something. The process is super easy. If you're looking for a putter, uh, no reason not to give this a try. It was incredible. And Mike, I'll tell you, I know we both went with similar putters and to the styles that we have now. I wouldn't be hesitant to try the broomstick or to try the longer arm lock or to try some of these other ones. I'm really looking forward to it as well. Your unboxing was awesome. My unboxing video will be coming out later this week. It's just it was so so cool. Such a
Yeah.
cool process, and I'm like you. I am eager to see if I can roll putts better. If maybe it was the lie angle that how I stood is part of the effect to it. So, I did start putting better last year. We had the lesson. Maybe this is another weapon in the arsenal, and I would again love for the numbers to keep going down.
Yeah. So I figured it was important that we touch on that and say thank you to them for
100%. Yeah.
for doing that. And listen, anything to help lower golf scores, we're all about. So, kind of moving on here. I do want to kind of quickly recap the PGA Tour out there at the Mexico Open. Unfortunately, Chris did miss the cut. Hasn't been playing his best golf early to start the season, but again, it's got to be one of those things that just kind of clicks. To John Pack's credit, obviously we are recording. It's not wrapped up yet. He's currently sitting T17. So hopefully, he continues to make moves and maybe sneaks into a nice little top 10 down there in Mexico because he is playing very well through 3 rounds. So that's what's going on there. Then they head out to Florida. We're coming back to the East Coast now. And the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches, which is right there in kind of like that West Palm, Jupiter area, at probably one of the tougher golf courses that those people play, is interesting because PGA National is a very tough finishing stretch there, and it's a
Hmm.
loaded field to where I know it's in the area where a lot of these guys live in Jupiter area. So the field is bigger. Chris is going to be in the field. Max is in the field. John is actually the third alternate. So he's not in yet, but being that high on the alternate list won't surprise me if he ends up getting in the tournament. So I won't be surprised if he still flies out to Florida to find a way to get in. But your boy Jordan Spieth is playing, which was kind of surprising. A last minute add on, and he's never played there before.
Hmm. I wonder why he's never played there. And
Well,
thank you
he's
for
not.
appropriately naming him my boy. He is my boy.
Yeah, well, he's not a Florida kid. He's more of a
Yeah.
Texas guy. Um, and by the
Likes the
way,
dry heat as
congratulations.
opposed to the wet heat.
Yeah, congratulations, Jordan Spieth. Actually, they're expecting number three. Don't
Oh,
know if you
yeah,
know
very
that.
nice. I didn't see
Yeah,
that. No.
yeah, he's expecting. Well, she's expecting number three. Um, so,
He
nonetheless,
did
I
his
mean,
part already.
yeah. So it's going to be a nice little event down there. So hopefully our guys kind of get it going a little bit.
Mike, can you explain a little bit the process on how like being an alternate works? Like they have 144 golfers in the field or whatever the number is. Like what's the process behind like getting to be an alternate? How do they not become alternates? How does that
Well, you have the guys.
I
I
know
mean, you
that
have the
somebody drops out, right? An injury happens. Number one
yes, right,
steps in, right? Then something else, somebody else pulls out. Number two. So we need three guys to drop out in order for John to get in.
right,
But how did
and
he
well, he
become the third alternate and not the 10th alternate?
because I think a lot of it ends up figuring out based upon where you were on the prior season's Corn Ferry Tour points list. So for everybody that's on the alternate list, there's different, I guess, in a sense, rankings. So the guy that's above him may have finished higher on the Corn Ferry Tour list
Gotcha.
last year. So
Mhm.
it kind of gets prioritized in that aspect.
Gotcha.
Um, so when the bigger names pop in. For example, Jordan Spieth has never played there, but Jordan if he wants to play, he has the right to play over anybody else that's below him.
Mhm.
So he kicks that first guy, or I should say, that last guy in. He
Yeah.
kicks him out to the first alternate,
Okay.
and
Oh,
then things kind of move on and cycle through that way. But
interesting.
typically, 4, 5, 6 alternates get in because after Sunday's tournament wraps up, if a guy is one, sometimes he says, I'm taking a week off next week. There's a lot of different variables that go into it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the field.
Now, another thing, I wonder why Jordan decided to play in it this year when he's never played in it he's been on tour for 10 plus years.
I think honestly, I think he's healthy. I think he's healthy and he wants to play a little bit more before April's here because if you recall, there is a big tournament that comes up in April. And I think a guy like him who's finally healthy probably needs to swing the stick a little bit more because he kind of shut it down towards the end of last
Early.
season
Yeah.
because of his injury.
Is he that tournament that's in April? Is that on the East Coast as well?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And in a
It,
similar area to
it's
in Florida.
it's played is it at the Georgia Golf Club?
So listen, I can't wait to watch. I do think 16, 17, 18 at PGA National is a reason why they call it the Bears Trap. So, um,
100%.
yeah. So, and then as
Mike,
we go,
I
uh,
actually I
uh,
I actually have something in here for you. I don't know if you saw it. I snuck it into your fast facts here.
I did not.
While we're talking about PGA Tour, this kind of came up because last weekend was All Star weekend for the NBA, and how it's just an absolutely atrocious abomination of basketball.
No,
It's a
an
waste of
event.
time for everybody. Yeah, it's not good. It is entirely too commercialized. It's uh, you and I are both basketball guys. I know I didn't even think about watching it. I know that you didn't watch it. Uh, so I don't, and I don't know if it even crossed your mind. It wasn't even a thought to be like, "Ooh, maybe I'll watch a little bit of the dunk contest if it's on." No, couldn't care less about it. But from that, there seems to be this groundswell of things on the golf side of it that the PGA Tour should have a its own All Star weekend, so to speak. And I saw a couple different variations. Um, from Thursday be like a media day, uh, or Friday be not media day, influencer day. So you got these pros playing with some, like the foreplay guys, the Grant Horvaths, that they play, they do stuff that's kind of fun for golf, like almost like in basketball they have the celebrity game, right? And then Friday, Saturday, you have these different events. You got some long drive, you got curviest ball, like you got to try to closest to the pin and you got to wrap it around a tree or something like that. Like um remember that show Big Break? Did you ever watch that on the golf channel where like you got to break the glass, right? You got to hit stingers to break the glass. Like maybe not necessarily breaking glass, but like going through windows, put them in the woods and say, hey, you got a 2x2 window out there, get it through that window, something like that. I you got longest putt made. You got golf has a lot of different competitions you could have. So do that like Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday do a here's our all stars, and you're going to have a we're going to knock one person out every hole, and if someone birdies some and the rest of the people par, you get whoever made the longest putt, they got to go next. So at each hole somebody's leaving. That was the format I kind of liked the best. But I wanted to ask you, what do you think of having an all-star weekend in golf, or like this kind of like yeah, basically all-star weekend, I guess, for the PGA Tour.
I think it's a great idea. I think that's kind of what Chad was referencing a lot with what they do with the Creator Classic is those guys will go out and play the Wednesday before the Players Championship. They'll do it the Wednesday before the Troost Championship that's now at Philadelphia Cricket Club, and they'll do it before the Tour Championship. I think that's different ways to try to evolve the game. And I know we always hear the grow the game line a lot, and it's not really growing the game, but that is a way to do it.
Hmm.
And I think the problem with the PGA Tour is they just do so much. Like those guys play every single week, where the All Star game is like they get a 4 or 5 day break in the middle of the season. Well, the PGA Tour guys aren't doing that. If you look at the schedule, there is no break. Every single week, there is a tournament. Now, whether or not these guys choose to play or not is a different story. Maybe it does make sense to have a week off because they're not doing it before the tournament because they do it maybe these 3 times, but the pro-ams make them a lot of money. These guys got to play practice rounds beforehand. There's a lot of things that go into it in terms of a preparation aspect of a tournament where you would need a full week off.
Yeah, for
But I think
sure.
the idea is phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I love the idea. I think giving them time off is also important. Like it wouldn't be you can't do it before a tournament, right? You can't do it like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then have them play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I also think that you need to have a. That's why I kind of like shortening it, right? Having them around for Friday, Saturday, Sunday shortens it. They can get a little time before you wouldn't need to play practice rounds Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you wouldn't have a pro am either. Like that would be kind of like their vacation time, and then meeting up to do this. I really like the idea. I think the problem is you have to have the major. You got to have Scotty. You got to have Rory. You got to have Xander. You got to have the top guys that are willing and able to participate in this. Unlike the NBA, where none of the top guys are willing to do it, and I don't. I don't know how you do that because money's not really an object to like you can't dangle money in front of these guys because the money that you would have to dangle is extensive. You know,
But
like
to your point, maybe you don't dangle it for the pros. Maybe you make it a YouTube thing. You can't tell me that this Wednesday before the players, when all these guys are playing their little tournament, the Creator Classic, that we're all going to be watching on YouTube.
yeah.
So maybe Scotty doesn't play and do it. Maybe Tiger doesn't do it. Hell, I would love to see you and Trent out there. I would love to see Riggs out there going against Grant Horvat. Like, I think that type of stuff to the average YouTube golfer is interesting. We see Tiger and Scotty all the time. They do their thing. Let the YouTube guys do theirs. And now you're bringing both worlds together.
Trent and I would be the battle of the week. WEAK, not WEEK. But to your point, I do think that that's what people would like to see. The YouTube golf space is would like to see that. Like to see these guys. And Mike, maybe that's it. Maybe it's just like they were talking about with the dunk contest. Like get rid of Mac McClung might still win the dunk contest because he is a great dunker. But let's be honest, he's a G League player. Let's bring these other influencers in. There's some guy on the internet that's got a 52-inch vertical. Let him do the dunk contest and jump over the Empire State Building in order to do this. Like, bring in some of these other guys that are these influencers that are practicing dunking all the time. Even if LeBron was in it, he's not practicing dunking. He's just a freak athlete who's a good dunker, right? Jordan and Kobe and Dominique, like when we think of like great dunkers, right? They're all doing basically the same dunk, right? From the old times. They were awesome. I don't want to take it away. But like these guys here, like the dunk master, whatever his name is on Instagram, that's got the 50-inch vertical. He's practicing dunking every day and recording it. Let's see what he can come up with. Let's see what creative thing he can do because there's only so many times we can see a guy jump from the foul line. There's only so many times we can see a guy, do a 360. There's only so many. So, like, let's see what creative things they come up with. The same thing in the golf world. Let's see what these influencers can do. Can Grant Horvath hit, flop a driver? Let's see if he can do that. Right? I think that's impossible, but let's see. Let's see if we can flop
Matt
something
Bushy,
over a
maybe.
tree. Yeah,
Matt might be able to.
but that's what I'm saying. Like maybe that's it. Give them a week off. Let them have some fun out there. But I kind of like the idea. I really do. Maybe the PGA Tour would get more out of that, more eyes on that by getting rid of some, middle of the road tournament in the middle of summer. I'm not going to call
Start.
out any. I'm not going to call out any names or anything because I know what goes behind it. All the tournaments are valuable. They do all put in a lot of work to it. But I
A
don't
lot
know.
of
Maybe
money.
this is a way to make more money in a different way, a different avenue. I would say to open up things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's an open minded idea that should be at least thought about.
Yeah, it's a great conversation topic. There's no question, if anything. I agree with you, and I think those guys, you could YouTube guys and people like that, you could dangle money in front of them, and they'd be more about it than Scotty would be.
Yeah.
Like, no offense, they do very well for themselves. Don't get me wrong, but if you're offering them X amount of money to come play in a skills competition, I I can't be surprised if a lot of them say no. I'd be stunned if they
Right.
said no.
What you could pay Scotty $10 million to be in the skills comp. $10 million doesn't that might not move the needle for him. I'll tell you who that will move the needle for. Ryan Coulott. Ryan Coulott will do whatever you would like for $10 million.
Now that would be a scene. But nonetheless, listen, I'd love to hear if the audience had any other ideas for us to in that all-star competition because I think that's a great little it's a great little thing to grow, to talk about, to think about. Um, so yeah, listen, I did see that you added that in there now. So
I snuck it
yeah,
in
and
right
yeah,
pre-show.
and then real quick, I'll just hit the Corn Ferry Tour real quick as they're back in action down in Argentina. They're on a little back-to-back down there in Argentina this week, Chile next week. James and Ryan are both in the field. So let's hopeful that those two guys can string two nice tournaments together.
Yeah, I know. I was following along with James. He took time off. I don't know how much golf swinging he was doing while he was hitting the slopes in Colorado or wherever he was. But he was on
Vermont, I
a
think. Yeah.
Vermont. He was in a nice skiing trip. Sometimes you just need to clear the mind, get away. He's been swinging the golf club for forever. He knows how to swing the golf club. Sometimes it's just, hey, let's reset, let's come back, and let's be in a I don't know if it's better headspace or whatever, but sometimes it's good for that. So I know he was doing that. I don't know what Ryan's been working on or what he's been doing with his time off, but they are back in action, and hopefully they can, like you said, string 2 good weeks together here.
Yep. And then, as I said last week, kind of putting a bow on this is our golfing in the Garden State March Madness Season 3 premieres. We have our own little premiere
Hmm.
next Monday, March 3rd. The brackets will be revealed. Voting is going to begin Wednesday, March 5th. It's going to run for 5 consecutive weeks to determine who the winner is going to be. Um, the voting process is all through Instagram. So all 9.1 thousand followers will have a say, and maybe more if we keep adding to that number, on who the winner will be. Now, these 32 courses that we put together are for courses that we want to play in 2025. Now, I say that because I know you get angry at the listeners sometimes. It doesn't always listen to the fine print, but these are courses either we haven't ever played or we haven't played in quite some time. So there's a reason why you won't see courses that we just played in 2024 on our list. So
Hmm.
before you get mad at Ryan, that is the reason um, that you won't see, for example, Manasquan River, Ridgewood, courses like that we have played.
Pine
Frank
Valley.
Burn. Well, yeah, Pine Valley's gonna say.
So you played it recently. Obviously, I want to play it. So there's no reason to put it on this list because it's like, okay, too obvious. You're not going to see Ridgewood on this list either. We just played it. North Jersey not going to be on the list. But you and I haven't played Baltusrol. That is on the list. We're not saying that Baltusrol is better than these courses. It's our course that we haven't played or haven't played recently and want to play this year.
Right, which makes us have 32 in total. 17 are private and 15 are public. Now, I know here's the catch. Oh, Mike, are you trying to say that the privates aren't all better than the publics? I'm not. But that's not how the winner will be determined. It may that the private golf courses social media handling is all in and they're going to push their stuff as best as they can. But I also know there's a lot of very strong following from the public golf courses here in New Jersey. And ultimately, this is not a test on what is the best course. I need to make sure that's understood. This is a March Madness that's based on what you, the audience, thinks is the better spot where we should go. Now, listen, it may end up being Baltusrol's lower that wins. Hell, it might be Galloping Hill that wins. We frankly don't know. But you, the people, get to decide who the winner is of Season 3. And the catch with this is if it's public, Ryan and I will 100% be there at some point in 2025. If it's a private, I'm going to have to navigate some inner workings to see if that golf course will allow us to come feature their location as the winner of Season 3. Knock on wood, we haven't had that problem yet, but in Season 3, we're incorporating some privates that we never have. So the list is a loaded list from top to bottom, A through Z. It's got a little bit of everything here. Um, I just simply can't wait to unveil the brackets and kind of see what's going on here.
I'm really looking forward to this, Mike. Like you said, we've done it a little bit differently. We've done a private and a public. We've done first year, I think we did all public. Then we
We've done
kind of
all publics every
all
time,
publics
both
every year.
times.
So it's a incorporating privates here. Traditionally, yes, private courses are better maintained because they have more money because the membership wants it to look it's less play. Traditionally, yes, that's the case. But that's not what this is about, as Mike said. It's about whose club or who what place has stood out to our listeners. And as you guys are following along, you guys are doing the voting. So it's not necessarily like which one is the best. It's which one who shows out for which place.
Yeah. And so the key is Monday, you'll get to see the brackets. You'll see the 16 on the left and you'll see the 16 on the right. Then, obviously, next Tuesday, or excuse me, next Wednesday, the voting will begin just like it always has. There'll be a picture on the top and a picture on the bottom with the arrows representing which of the golf courses. I'm hopeful that I don't make a mistake, as I've done in years past, which I put the wrong picture of the golf course on there and I've gotten yelled at. So I'm going to do my due diligence to ensure that I don't make that mistake in 2025.
I'll tell you what, Mike, you're forgiven for making one mistake uh, in all of the time that we've been doing this. You are super diligent. There's nobody that does more checking, double, triple, quadruple checking than you, to the point of just flat out annoyance. So if you miss something somewhere, I think the viewers should understand that you are also a human being and make a mistake instead of jumping on you and going, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong. Right?
Yeah.
Settle down, Captain Literal Man.
Yeah, I've made that mistake, and I've heard from the listener, and I've had to apologize because they are right. They are right. Sometimes the internet leads me the wrong direction, and I
Mhm.
have learned my lesson. I am going strictly to that golf course's website to pull the picture from that website to ensure that if it's wrong, it's on the golf course, not on us. So that is going to be a big time thing. I know it's something that the audience loves. Um, so all 32 courses will be unveiled with the brackets on Monday. I got one final thing for you to wrap up our final show here in February of 2025, unless you have something to go with here.
I don't, Mike. Really, I wanted to get out the. I knew we were talking about the brackets. I wanted to get the All Star um, weekend out there. It was really kind of my big topic. I wanted to touch base with you today about.
All right, so here we go. So I know last week, again, I'll be honest with you, the top 10 was kind of like a little bit of a slap in the face to me on TikTok. I had some really people that came at me aggressively, that even my wife and I were dying laughing at listening to some of these people calling me
Is
like,
how don't you like jelly? Is that it?
nope. It was saying, "Man, you are no fun. Have a beer. You're not on the tour. You are probably the worst human being ever." Yeah, they came at me aggressive.
Wow.
Yeah, they were,
Well,
I
Mike, you didn't tell me. I'm here. We're here
yeah,
to support each other.
yeah, well,
You got don't
listen,
keep it in. Share.
my
Let me
wife and I
shoulder
were
the boulder
laughing.
for you.
Yeah, we were laughing at people just kinda like saying, "Who the hell do you think you are? Go have fun, go live a little." So I think there was probably like, I don't know, 6 to 10 comments and not one nice one.
Okay.
Everyone was mean. So,
Uh,
listen,
Well, I'm
I
sorry
guess
about that. I thought you killed the list. I mean, I would agree with you.
I
I'm
did.
out there for having fun, but I liked your list. The only
I
thing
think you
I
set
thought that
me
was
up, though.
insane was
I think you set me up.
I didn't mean
You
to
set
set
me
you
up.
up. I didn't
And I
mean
think you
to.
set me up because you knew I don't really drink, and 3 of the 10 choices were drinking choices.
Right.
So and then obviously, they're gonna be low on my list, so that gives the general public a chance just to kinda zing me with some lines, and I kinda felt like you teed me up there.
I
So I
didn't.
got blasted on TikTok.
I'll tell you what. I teed you up with the whole thing because you don't eat or drink in general. So the whole list was then, just a setup for you. But
Right.
the but but getting yelled at was not my intention. The thing that I took away from it most, Mike, wasn't the eating, wasn't the drinking as much because you're not a big drinker, so it's totally fine. You don't like jelly, which I think is just comes down to just being un-American. That's how I took it. That's how I took it. And that's the conversations I had with people. That's what they took away from the Mike doesn't like jelly. I can't. I got 4 or 5 texts afterwards. How does he not like jelly?
Well,
So
yeah,
that was where I came from. So people coming at you for not drinking, it's they
alright.
yeah
Well, life
they
goes
can
on.
yeah, you don't drink. That's fine. They don't know people that don't drink.
Maybe not. So, I got my
Well,
top 10 this
I'm
week.
sorry for putting you in that position. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, it's alright. Just set me up, teed me high, and let me fly. But anyway, so my top 10 list this week for you is this. It's top 10 golf courses you'd play if you only have 10 left to play in your entire life.
Whoa.
This
Okay.
is going to be a mix of elite, historical, and wild choices to test you.
Wild choices. What do you mean wild choices?
I'm not that's I'm just I wrote this all down to make sure I have my script ready to go.
Okay.
And you tell me when your list is ready
Can I
because
Can I tell you? Uh I was hoping that you did not have last week I said I made 2 lists. I was because I was on fire, and I was hoping that I didn't do all this work for one that I that you were gonna have me do. So I'm glad that we're not doing that, which
Okay.
is good. So let me get a thing here. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
All right. You ready? 1
Nope.
through 10. 1 through 10. You only have 10 golf courses to play the rest of your life. And I got a variation of golf courses here on this list.
Wow. Okay. I'm a
Ready?
little I think I might be getting set up here like I was with MJ, not using Jordan there.
Ready.
No, but go ahead.
Number 1 on the list. Ballybunion. Old course in Ireland.
Mhm. Before I keep going, I think this list is going to be a loaded, loaded, loaded list. That I think that if I had 10, like you could flip 10 and 1. That's my thoughts here before going in. I do really want to get to Ballybunion. I've heard nothing but great things. You know, I love golf in Ireland. Uh, there are ones I think I would rather play. I'm going to put it at 6.
Okay. Next. Torrey Pines, the South Course.
So I've already played it, which I think puts it behind Ballybunion. I would have no problem pay if you were like, "Hey, you have one course to play and then you're gonna die and it's that one," I'd have no problem with that. But I can't put it ahead of Ballybunion just because 'cause I've never played it. So I'm gonna put it at 8.
Next on the list. Shinnecock Hills.
That's up there. That's
Classic
up
US
there.
Open.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 4.
Next on the list. Bethpage Black.
Again, another one I've played. It's excellent. The views are better at Torrey, so I'm gonna go 9.
Next on the list. Next on the list is Pebble Beach.
Um I'm trying to think of courses you might have above it. I do want to play Shinnecock more than I want to play Pebble. I'm going to go 5 for Pebble.
Next on the list. St. Andrews, the Old Course.
Yeah, that's going to be very very high. You know I'm a history guy. I'm going to go 2 with St. Andrews.
Next on the list. TPC Sawgrass.
10.
Wow. Okay. Guess you don't want to lose a lot of golf balls.
Yeah, I don't want to lose golf balls and I knew that like I want to play Torrey South more than I want to play TPC Sawgrass. There's one left. That was a quick and easy one.
Carnoustie.
Yeah, there you go. Oh,
I know you're a big Ireland, North,
yes,
Europe,
like
that kind of
the
area.
Isles.
International links over there.
Yeah, I'll put Carnoustie at 7.
Okay. 7. Next on the list.
These two better not suck.
Oakmont Country Club. It's where they're having the US Open this year.
Yeah, uh, yeah. Oakmont's going to be 3.
Next on the
Oakmont's
list.
awesome.
Next on the list. Augusta National.
Boom, number 1. Georgia Golf Club.
I believe that's all of them, isn't it?
That is 10. Yep.
There you go. So
Mike,
why don't you say the list in
I
order from
I
1 to
was
10?
I was glad that I was patient this week, unlike mine 2 weeks ago where I didn't wanna miss out. I should have known you were gonna go Jordan, and I just overthought it. I didn't overthink this week. So, starting from 10,
Yep.
TPC Sawgrass. Number 9, Bethpage Black. Number 8, Torrey Pine South. Number 7, Carnoustie. 6, Ballybunion. 5, Pebble Beach. 4, Shinnecock. 3, Oakmont. 2, St. Andrews. And number 1, Augusta National, home of the Masters.
Nice job. Nice job.
Thank you.
I was
Thank you.
I was gonna I was gonna be a complete, you know what, and throw in like a like Howell Park, right? Or even North Jersey, just to throw it in there to really like you'd be like, "Are you serious?" Um, but I was like, I can't do that to him.
No, so
Um,
this is a good list because where you could argue like stuff over, I could go around. If you put someone like if you're putting Howell Park in like that, obviously it's a different echelon. That's a
right.
great list. I have no
Yeah.
problems. And I'll tell you what, Mike, if I were to have put Shinnecock 1 and Augusta 2 or something, like if something were to, I'd be fine with that too. Those are all excellent courses that I'm going to play the last ten rounds of my life.
Yep. I did have some others on the outskirts. I was like, I had Kiowa Island, I had Pine Valley, I had, like Shadow Creek. And one of the lines I did have is the worst municipal golf course in town, but I couldn't do that.
Oh,
That's where I
that
was
was
going to, that was going to be like, just like
not
my
to call
curveball.
out anybody.
Yeah. Not the, yeah. It literally says the worst muni in town is what I really wrote, but I was like, I'm going to stay away from that. But there you go.
I like
That's a
that
wrap.
list. Yeah. That's all we got.
That's it. That's it. The finale.
You're in for a treat next week. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I really, really am. I'm not trying to get you again. I think it may get you again.
All right. Sounds good to me.
All right, that's it for Mike and I this week. Stay tuned Thursdays. Force Thursdays episode. We got Chris Gabriel on, who's the lead assistant pro at Quaker Ridge. Till then, cheers.